Hey guys, what's going on? This is KShy22 here. It has been a while since I have actually made a video for you guys. Today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys the process that I go through when I get a new computer in my hands and I need to do some sort of configuration, whether it's setting it up from scratch, speeding it up, or finding some kind of registry file that's just corrupt or damaged. So here's the basic. Okay, so I have my USB drive right here. I have it set up for both my storage or configuring computer. It's a 32 gigabyte flash drive. Haven't even used half of it. So first, let's go ahead and go into configuring a new computer. And I just have a list of programs, free programs, trial things I've bought that I know will work most of the time. Like 90% of the time, this stuff will work and get me to where I need to be. Otherwise, I have to manually go in, find a new driver. I have to right click here, go into Device Manager, roll back a driver, update the driver, whatever it might be. However, some of these programs make my life a lot simpler. So let's go ahead and run through the most basic one. A friend handed me a computer, super slow. What am I going to do about it? I'm going to run some programs on it. First one I have is the Advanced System Care. I just go in here and I'm like, hey, I'm going to run this on your computer. I launch it. I have the Pro version of it. And I just scan everything on the computer. It's going to run through all of it, and I just hit automatically fix, and it'll fix all the problems on the computer. There's also some things, if I know that they're going to be doing some gaming and such, I can also go to speed up over here and turn on a turbo boost, hardware accelerate, deep optimization. Now I've bought the license for this for my flash drive, so I'm able to move my flash drive from computer to computer and use my license on any computer that I want. However, when I take it off of my flash drive, I won't be. It's mandatory on that computer. So make sure when you're buying these licenses that you're buying the correct license. Okay. So I do that. It speeds up the computer. It gets. It finds issues with internet security, and ultimately, if your computer's slow, that's one to run. Or if you're having a slow boot time, this one will record your boot time and tell you how you can actually improve that. Next is our CCleaner. This is a very basic one that everybody uses. I'm sure you've heard of it. And this also has a feature called background. Let's see what it is. Background monitoring. So if you want this to always keep your computer clean without you ever having to touch the program, this is one that's great for that. Pretty much here, if your Microsoft Edge or Internet Explorer, Firefox, whatever it is running slow, you just run this program. It'll delete the cache, any cookies that are slowing down your computer, or malware. This has gotten rid of malware for me, and it's not even designed to do that. So any sort of stuff like that. It also will clear your registry of any corrupt files, like I was mentioning earlier. This thing is a baller when it comes to that type of stuff. Scans it in less than like 30 seconds every time. This thing's just right through. I do have the professional version. I can update anytime I want. I'm sure this has updates available for me. I don't really keep up to dates on things. I just go as I roll. Oh, yep, so there it is. Fix all selected. I can make a backup, so if something goes wrong, found 73 issues. I run this thing probably on the monthly. Next is the tools. I can see what's starting up. Typically, I just scan everything. I right click and I disable everything. So this way I have the bare minimum running. Like, I don't need my Dropbox when I'm on here. Wondershare, I don't know what the heck that is. So I'll just delete that. So this makes it so easy to see what's running on your computer and how you can get rid of it. Schedule tasks, you just disable all those. The only thing that I would like to have, so you just go through and you pick what they want or what you would like. Great, I wanted my team viewer to run, and my team viewer's not even listening to this. So that's nice. My team viewer is probably within this. No, it is not. So yeah, like I said, you just look for what you do and do not want running on that computer. You can change your context menu, which is you right click, that's your context menu. Then you can configure this however you want. You can uninstall programs on here, browser plugins, analyze your disk. This will save space a lot. It takes a couple days if you want to do a hardcore space saver, but you know, you can do a 2-hour scan and it'll save you like 2 gigabytes. It's nice. A couple days, just depending on how big your hard drive, you may be saving tons of gigabytes. So the next program that we're going to go on to is Driver Booster. So if there's a computer that somebody's had for a year, see they've never done any Windows updates, never checked their manufacturer's website for some of their drivers, this is something you're going to want to run. I have the license for this, I believe, just as well. And I run this on every computer that my hands touch just to make sure they're running the latest. The only problem I've ever had with this program is for touchscreen computers. It'll actually install like a third-party driver for that touchscreen, and then the touchscreen doesn't work, and I just roll back the driver and it's ready, set, and go. You can do that within here. You can rescue any driver. It backs up all your drivers before it ever installs one, so you'll never have a problem with that. You just scan, it's going to scan all your drivers. It'll look for virtual drivers for gaming and stuff like that. This thing actually installed NVIDIA Experience for me, which has been probably my favorite program for gaming. It helps optimize my games to make sure that they're running at the highest speed possible. So this has sound, video, game controllers, network adapter drivers. Adobe Flash Player needs updated. Now even programs such as Java need updated, and that's going to let you know. If you just now set up a Windows 10 computer starting off fresh, this is something you want to run so you know you're running up at top up-to-date speeds. So make sure you get that. That's a nice program. I think it prices around 60 bucks. HackSense is a program I've actually programmed myself, which is not out for release. Pretty much I run this, it's on version 2. This gives me targeted information about a computer. It runs in the background. It'll let me know when it's done. I have WinRaR. I pretty much use this as my compressed files zip viewer thingy, you know what I mean. Now if somebody has a bunch of malware and ads showing on their computer, I use the freeware of ADW Cleaner. And this is based off of Malwarebytes, if you've ever heard of that program. This will get rid of any ads, any problems that you're having with spam. You know, very nice. If you have toolbars and extensions just popping up out of nowhere, this will get rid of it in one computer restart. So if we go back to our HackSense is finished loading now. I can go ahead and view HackSense read. I can look for here, and it'll tell me about all the information on my computer and such. So there's that. That's what that is. It just gets the sensitive information on my computer for me. Kind of helps me out. I know when I'm setting up a computer, the people are going to want Firefox and GoogleChrome right to start off with. They're not going to want to have to go on Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge to go get that themselves. And plus, if they don't know much about computers, they're not going to be able to navigate to Google and get that kind of stuff. They're going to be running Internet Explorer and dealing with the slow speeds and the cost of having that of their time. So I make sure I have Firefox and GoogleChrome installed. I do get their permissions first before I go ahead and do that. Most of the time, they don't even know what that is, and they're like, sure, go ahead. If it's going to help me, go ahead and put that on my computer. Next is Java. I installed Java and Adobe Flash Player. As you see, Adobe Flash Player is not on this list. I deleted that so I can show you guys how I set this all up and get this ready on my USB. Specky tells me about the computer. I don't know if you've ever seen this program. I keep this right on my menu over here. You can find it. I'm just typing it. I can't remember what the icon looks like. There it is. This will grab all the information. It'll tell me about the operating system, the CPU, the RAM, the motherboard, the graphics. It tells me about my optical drives, network card, pretty much any information I want to know about the computer. This tells me about it. It'll tell me what speed and what temperature my CPU is. And expand that. It'll tell me about my cores. It'll tell me the size. The socket is an AM3 plus. Any sort of information like that, this will let me know. If I'm working on a computer for somebody where they want upgrades, it's a great program to look at the specs and get the right specs, so I know what is compatible for upgrade. I also install TeamViewer on anybody who's going to need regular maintenance, and I use the personal free commercial version of that, so I don't pay thousands of dollars over a year course of time. I always have that running, ready, set, and go. Virtual clone drive setup. If I'm installing games for somebody, I'll make sure I have this set up so that way I don't need a CD or some sort of disk or flash drive to have to do that. I can just set it up virtually. My VLC Media Player, I find this a lot more helpful for consumers who do not want to use the Windows Media Player. This program has tons of features. You can edit the sound quality. You know, it comes up with all sorts of features that you should definitely check out. It is free and it's available to download on the internet. So without further ado, that's how I pretty much get a computer set to go, whether it's damaged, been reset, or it's just running at a slow speed. If I want to go ahead and add something to my list, I think about is it really going to worth it? How often am I going to use it? If I'm not going to use it very often, I'll just throw it into my storage, which is like, you know, I have stuff for my work, I have stuff for my own personal use, I have some Word and some Microsoft Excel sheets in there. So just random stuff I'll put in my storage, but specifically for setting up a new computer, I set it in here. I go to my Adobe Flash, I just type it in Google, and if it's free, I'll be able to get it. When I'm running through something like this, I make sure that I deselect all the offers, and then I hit install now. I know it's not going to install it right away. I know it's going to give me a download file to install from. That just comes with knowledge and experience from computers that I know it's not going to just install. So I'm going to go ahead and save the file, and then I'm going to open that. I'm going to Control X, which is going to copy the file. Well, it's going to cut the file. Then I'm going to paste it here, and I just rename it to something simple. Adobe Flash Player. Now, the big thing about this is that you think that installing off of your flash drive is not going to cause any issues. However, sometimes you have applications like Adobe Flash Player where after you install it, it will actually delete the initial install application. So what I normally do is I will actually copy all this and paste it to the computer, unless it's one of these in the folder, because I know those don't delete themselves. But an actual setup, I will copy the setup to their desktop and install it like that. So in case if there's any delete process after the application is installed, I don't have to re-download all of that. So that's just a friendly tip and reminder. Otherwise, that's my setup and my configuration process. If this does not work out for me, I have the IT experience to go in and manually go into Device Manager or whatever it is. That's it. Thanks you guys for watching. I hope this gave you guys some ideas when you're out and about working on computers. See you guys next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.